field. Chris Delaney and Bob Hood bringing you high school baseball this evening between the Cold Grove Hornets. Just underway here in Centenary. Let me just run down the lineups for you. First of all, for the visiting Hornets, leading off was Leland McKnight. McKnight grounded out to the pitcher, so that was the first out. Caden Murphy is now hitting. Murphy will play second base for the Hornets. Batting third will be Derek Bloomfield. Bloomfield will hit in the number 3 spot. He'll be the pitcher. Number 4 will be Blake Collins. Collins will be doing the catching tonight for the Hornets. He'll be in the 4 spot. Hitting in the 5th spot will be Carter Keaton. He'll be playing first base. Bryson Collins will hit in the number 6 spot. He'll be playing third base. Rylan Smith will be the left fielder. He'll hit the 7th. Case Webb, batting in the 8th spot. He'll play third base. There's a strikeout there for Blue Devils, so Murphy strikes out, so that's the second out of the inning.
Hit by pitch.
Oh, hit by pitch. I'm sorry. Thank you very much. Chris Delaney on that one. Just hit by pitch. So we're on first base there. Derek Bloomfield will now be the hitter. He'll be the opposing pitcher. And then rounding out the lineup for the Hornets will be Kane Runnels. Runnels will be in the right field. Again, for the Hornets, it'll be Mike, Murphy, Bloomfield, Collins, Keaton, Bryson, Collins, Smith, Webb, and Runnels. We have there a steal there, Chris.
Pass ball, wild pitch.
So Murphy goes to second base on the play. So we have Derek Bloomfield will be, it remains the hitter. We're trying to get things underway here. There's a fly ball into right field. Drops in for a hit, and that's going to score a run. So the Hornets will be up on top 1-0. Throw to second base, and he's going to be out. So Bloomfield is out 2-4 on the throw. So he is out as he was trying to advance to second base. So that's the second out, but they did score a run. So is that correct there, Chris?
That is correct, yes, sir.
We got a single and a run scored.
Base hit to right, scored on base.
So Bloomfield with the hit, and then now that'll bring to the plate Blake Collins. Wearing number 20 for the Hornets, dressed in their traveling road black. So 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Collins. Pitching for the Blue Devils, and I forgot to mention that, but Matthew Delaney will be doing the pitching tonight for the Blue Devils.
Check on that one, that's Maddox.
Maddox.
The sophomore.
Maddox Delaney. Well, I had that written down and I changed it. So that's what I get for changing it there. So I thought I wrote it down wrong. So Maddox Delaney. Count is 2 balls and 1 strike. So facing Collins, the catcher. Cold Grove Gallia Academy, Bob Hood, and Chris Delaney just started here from Gallia Academy. Outside ball 3, so that's going to run the count to 3-1 on Collins. 3 balls, 1 strike to count. Very overcast this evening. Here comes the pitch. And the ball is fouled back. So that'll even the count now, or run the count to 3-2. Thank you, Chris, for helping out. It's going to be great. Chris is going to be helping out doing the game. Has a lot of experience in baseball, and delighted to have you along.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I've never done anything like this before. This is my second game, so hopefully we can start winning some more ball games than we have and get going forward.
And you have an interest in the team, correct?
Yes, sir. That's is my son Maddox out there pitching. That's why I had to correct you. I knew right away you were wrong. I've been calling him by his name since before he was born. So. And there's a little squeaker that got by. On the first base to Brady Conley, but couldn't come up with it. Skipped back past Mr. Shockey, who was moving to back him up. And we got probably an error there, and another man on.
So Collins is on base on the air there, and so that's going to bring Carter Keaton to the plate. Carter Keaton,
number 13.
And thank you, sir. And here comes the pitch from Delaney. And it's going to be outside. It's going to be back behind the catcher, and that's going to advance the runner to second base.
Pass the ball after scoring at home.
And we talked about this prior to the game about just all kinds of little miscues here and there, and the Blue Devils need to really kind of get their handle on just the little things.
Yeah, you're seeing a lot. There's a nice play by Maddox, and that'll do it for the top of the inning. But yeah, a lot of mistakes, and we'll touch on those when we get back. But we got a lot of work to do.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll have more high school baseball after a half inning of play. Your score is Cold Grove 1, Gallia Academy coming to bat.
Looking for your next vehicle? Time to bring in Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your trusted dealership in Gallipolis, Ohio. Whether you're cruising the highways or tackling tough terrain, Braden has the perfect Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, or Ram for you. Visit us at 252 Upper River Road, Gallipolis, Ohio, or call 740-853-5668. Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, driving Gallipolis forward.
Crank it up with the Pure Rock Radio Network, your home for classic rock that really rocks. Tune in to Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5 for the greatest hits, local sports action, and your favorite morning crew, Porter's Place, featuring Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin, comedian Jay Snide, and the HR chick, Tanya Hatton. From Bobcats football and basketball to unbeatable giveaways, we've got your back. Pure Rock Radio Network, where local voices meet legendary rock. Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5. Turn it up. You're watching Gallia Academy Sports, presented by Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Gallipolis.
Centenary at Bob Eastman Field. Running down the lineup for the Blue Devils. Leading off will be Tyler Young. Young will be in left field for the Blue Devils. Hitting second will be Beckett Camden. Camden will be your shortstop. Logan Drummond will bat in the 3 spot. He will play third base tonight. Maddox Delaney, you heard from him earlier in the top of the first. He'll be your pitcher for tonight and hitting the number 4 spot. Hitting in the 5 hole will be Nathan Shockey. Shockey will play second base. Brady Conley will hit 6. He'll play first base. Hitting 7th will be the catcher, Reese Toller. Heath Champlin will start tonight in right field. He'll be the number 8 hitter. And hitting 9th will be Matthew Foster. Foster will be in center field. Again, for the Blue Devils, it'll be Young, Camden, Drummond, Delaney, followed, and Foster. The way that the Hornets line up around the diamond, it'll be Cade Webb will be over third, left to right. Be Smith, McKnight, and Runnels. Here's the first pitch tonight from Bloomfield. Stepping in for the Blue Devils will be Tyler Young. Bloomfield ready to go. Here comes the pitch, and it's low and outside, ball 1. Ball 1, so that makes the count 1-0 for Young. Tyler Young, he plays left field. And Chris, Young is a junior, is that correct?
No, Tyler's one of our only 2 seniors, and there's a fly ball lifted out of play to the left side off the top of the building. Tyler plays right field for us a lot, and Matthew Foster, the other senior, plays center field. So we've got those 2 seniors, and everything else is sophomores and juniors out here.
So 1-1 now the count. No outs. Bottom of the second. That's high and away ball 2. So
it's on the other side, Jackson.
2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike for the senior. As we heard from Chris. And here comes the 2-1 pitch, and that ball is fouled off. So that's going to even the count now at 2-2. No one out. Blue Devils half of the first, and they trail the Hornets 1-0. Bob Hood along with Chris Delaney will be back with you tomorrow night. We have a little earlier start as the Warren local Warriors will be here. And that because that's a non-league game. There's a swing and a ball hit to left field.
Nice shot there by Mr. Young. Sat back on, waited, sees a lot of pitches, and got a good one to get a hold of there and just drove it through the box, and we got a leadoff guy.
Okay, so I'm going to have to stand up.
That'll bring up number 30, this junior shortstop, Beckett Camden.
Camden stands in for Blue Devils, hitting second. So Young reaches with the first Blue Devil hit. Coming set to the belt is Bloomfield. Here's the pitch, and it's a strike on the outside corner. The ball is 1 strike to count. The ball is 1 strike. You just joined us. The Blue Devils trail by 1 as they were Bogrove scored in the top half of the first. Here comes the pitch. Outside. Advancing to second base will be Young. So now we have runner in scoring position. And that would be Tyler Young. Camden steps in. Coming set to the belt is Bloomfield. Here's the 1-1 Camp. Throwing away. He gets behind the backstop, and that's going to allow Young to come to third base. You and I talked before the game. Now here's a perfect scoring opportunity. We got a runner on third base, no outs. Opportunity for a fly ball or even a ground ball to get him home and tie the score. You and I talked about that.
Yeah, that's one of the problems we've had all season so far is we'll get guys in, get them in scoring position, get the bases loaded with nobody out, and we have trouble getting guys in. So right here's one of those times where we really, really need to get this guy in.
To the belt, here comes the pitch, and it's low and away. That's going to run the count to 3-1 as Camden looks down here to the third base side. Well, Coach Camden's giving the signals. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. And that's ball 4. That's going to be a walk. So base on balls for Beckett Camden. And that's going to bring to the plate Logan Drummond.
Logan's another junior. He's a pitcher, plays a lot of third base for us, sometimes shortstop. So this is one of those spots where, like we just touched on a second ago, we've got to have a base hit here. You want to get as many as you can and jump on these guys and get out ahead of them. So hopefully we can get rolling.
Here comes Bloomfield to the belt here. There goes Beckett Camden. The ball's going to go to the backstop, and that's going to score on a wild pitch. So Tyler Young is going to score, and that's going to even. And coming all the way around to third base was very alertly was Beckett Camden. Now those are the kind of things, and you're going to hear us talk about that tonight. Those are the kind of things you have to do, and that's advance the runners and play smart. And there's a good opportunity right there for the Blue Devils to move Camden from first to third.
That's correct, and that's the big point, like you touched on there, is getting Beckett over to third base. Sometimes guys will start watching instead of running, and there's a ball right back to the second baseman. Well struck there by Mr. Drummond right at the second baseman. But just taking that extra base can mean the difference between scoring another couple runs. So heads up there by Coach Camden and Beckett to get on the same page and Beckett to get over to third. I'll bring up number 1, the sophomore Maddox Delaney, pitching today.
So Delaney steps in with a runner on third base to score tied 1-1. Ball outside.
Called that one a strike.
Okay, that was a strike. It's 0-1 there. I'm watching on a monitor, so I've got Chris, my eyes out on the field. So thank you very much for that. You've got a good view there.
That's right over there.
The ball is grounded to third. Throw over to first, and they got him.
We got him, beat him by a step, but we did get that run in. We talked about Beckett getting over to third base, and then a slow dribbler like that you can score on. And if it wasn't for him executing that first to third on that pass ball, he'd be sitting on third base, maybe still back at second base. So those are the little things that we haven't been able to do yet this spring, and right there is a good example of how we get back into games and get ahead of guys.
So the Blue Devils take the lead now, 2-1 here, and Gallia Academy in this league game facing the Hornets. And now stepping in will be Nathan Shockey. Shockey plays second base. And so that was a ball outside. Yep. Yeah,
that was a strike too.
Okay, no, that was a strike.
Strike
so
1.
Now we're 0-1, so Shockey behind in the count. Here comes the pitch from Bloomfield.
That ball's hit hard.
And over to first, and a nice dig out over there by Carter Keaton. And so he hit the ball hard, but grounded the ball right to Bryson Collins. So Collins throws on over to Keaton, and that's going to retire the side. But for the Blue Devils, 2 runs on a base hit and no one left on base. So now we've played 1 full inning, and your score is Gallia Academy leads in this one 2-1. More high school baseball when we return, as you're listening to high school baseball right here on Total Media.
Looking for your next vehicle? Time to bring in Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your trusted dealership in Gallipolis, Ohio. Whether you're cruising the highways or tackling tough terrain, Braden has the perfect Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram for you. Visit us at 252 Upper River Road, Gallipolis, Ohio, or call 740-853-5668. Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, driving Gallipolis forward.
Crank it up with the Pure Rock Radio Network, your home for classic rock that really rocks. Tune in to Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5 for the greatest hits, local sports action, and your favorite morning crew, Porter's Place, featuring Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin, comedian Jay Snide, and the HR chick, Tanya Hatton. From Bobcats football and basketball to unbeatable giveaways, we've got your back. Pure Rock Radio Network, where local voices meet legendary rock. Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5. Turn it up. You're watching Gallia Academy Sports, presented by Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Black tops with gold rope across the top, gray pants. Blue Devils, of course, in their home white. And really, all things considered, they're pitching inside 1-1 now the count. All things considering, Chris, it's not a bad night for baseball. For what we've had so far, it's not a bad night. It's a little cloudy. Ground ball to second base, and there is Shockey, and Shockey's going to throw one over to Conway, and that's going to retire Bryson Collins. So you've got to get these games in.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. I was working earlier today. I was in downtown Wilgus by the Rock House, and started to get a little bit of a heavy rain down in Lawrence County, and I was hoping that it wouldn't get too heavy up this way. So we did get a good bit of rain, but the field was dry enough that it soaked it all up, and we're getting a good game in tonight. So.
And I was glad to see you when I pulled up. There's a strike delivered there to Ryland Smith. I was glad to see you sitting there when I pulled up. I was like, okay, we may have a game. Because we've got to get these games in because scheduling makeups is a nightmare.
Yeah, and these league games, we have to get these league games in. So, if we don't get them in today, we have to find an empty spot and later down on the calendar, and that just puts pressure on the pitching staff, and kids have to travel an extra day. So, we want to get these games in as much as possible.
The wind is blowing out to left field, and it's breezy, but it's a really nice temperature. And there's the pitch, ground ball to third. There to retrieve it. There is Drummond. He's going to throw over. The ball gets past.
Yeah, he threw that one away.
So that's going to be an error on the third baseman, and that's going to put Ryland Smith over to second base.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier, Bob.
Tonight. And now to the plate for the Hornets is Case Webb. Cold Road, of course, this is a league game, as we talked about. There's a strike. So that's first pitch. That's 0-1 now. So as Chris said, we were talking about that, and these are league games, and they're very important. We were going over the OB count 0-2 now, and you could say Delaney's ahead in the count 0-2. So no balls, two strikes to the Hornets' third baseman. Here comes the pitch, and that's a swing and a miss, and that's going to be a strikeout for Maddox Delaney.
That's what we'd love to see right there. 3 pitches. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. So good job there by Maddox to bear down and get.
Appreciate those that are watching tonight. Chris Delaney, Bob Hood will be back with you tomorrow evening inside. It's going to run the count down to 3-0. And tomorrow it's a non-league game, so and I'll say this a couple different times just so you know, the starting time will be 5 o'clock instead of 5:30. And there's inside ball 4. So Chris, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night, and that's gonna put Reynolds on with a base on ball. And that's gonna put Reynolds on with a base on ball.
Yeah, the weather should be a little bit better. It should be dried out and sunny tomorrow. But back to this last at bat, we go and he throws 3 straight to the guy before to get 2 outs, and then comes back and throws 4 straight to put himself in a little bit of hot water here. So no more room for fooling around. It's time to go get this guy.
Leland McKnight stepping in, grounds the ball to third base, and that's handled there by Conley. He's going to step on the bag, and that's going to retire the leadoff hitter McKnight. So 3 unassisted if he's scoring with us. That's the third out For the Hornets, no runs. And they'll leave 2 on base. And so we played an inning and a half. They'll leave 2 on base. And so we played an inning and a half here at the Bobbies, Field.
Yeah, my wife's at home. She's streaming it. She said the audio is pretty bad.
Yeah. Figured it would.
She said it's getting.
2 balls and 1 strike, I believe. 2 balls and 1. Yeah, there we go.
I think it's 2-2.
Oh, it is 2-2. You were correct. All right, I momentarily lost track of the count there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Pull them. We're getting ahead of ourselves. We're struggling to adjust. So it's always good to see, even if it's a foul ball, balls hit hard the other way are a good sign.
It's 3:10 down the line here at the Bob. It's 3:55 to the alleys, 3:70 to straightaway center field. Here comes the pitch, a swing and a miss. I believe he's going to be out. Yep, he is. So Brady Conley strikes out, so that's the first out of the inning for the Blue Devils. So that'll bring to the plate Reese Toller. Is that correct?
That is correct. Reese is a sophomore. He's a catcher.
Okay.
He shares the catching duties a lot with number 37, Logan Kinney, who's also a sophomore.
So here comes the pitch. And that's inside. Ball 1. So Drummond drops behind in the count, or Bloomfield rather drops behind in the count. 1 ball, no strikes. So when in the pregame discussion that Coach Camden had with the Blue Devils, he was talking about how heavy there's a ball outside high, how heavy the air is, and so they kind of came in just a little bit. So the outfielders are playing shallow tonight.
Yeah, that's one of those things, Bob. When you talk about the inside little things of the game that make a big difference, is understanding things. The ball's going to travel the way the ball's going to go when the wind's blowing in or out, or like you said, if the air is really heavy, the ball doesn't carry as much. So there's a lot that goes into that I don't think people really have an appreciation for when it comes to teaching the game and these kids and all the stuff that they have to deal with.
Bloomfield missed. That ball was even sailed above Toller to the backstop. So now the count is going to be full at 3-2, 1 out. And this is the bottom of the second. If you just joined us, Blue Devils ahead, 2-1. Here comes the 3-2 offering, and that's going to be outside, and Toller's going to draw a walk. So Reese Toller gets on board with a walk, so that's going to be a base runner for the Blue Devils with 1 out. That's going to bring Heath Champlin to the plate.
Yeah, Heath Champlin is another one of those sophomores. He's in left field today, right field today. I think he's in right.
He is.
He plays a little bit of second base, and he pitches. He's an outfield. He's one of those guys. There's a few on this team that you can just put him anywhere. You just roll the ball out there and say, hey, go play. And there, like I said, there's 5 or 6 guys that you can stick them anywhere, and they're going to get the job done. And Heath's one of them.
Bloomfield misses high and away, ball 1. And you mentioned it. The last game we did here, Champlin pitched and did an outstanding job in relief. There's a ball that gets to the backstop, and that's going to move Toller over to second base. And so, like you said, he can pitch.
Yeah, he's a guy like I mentioned the other day. He doesn't have a whole lot of speed. He's not going to blow up by guys, but he's a really good control guy. He'll throw the ball where they struggle with it, and usually he gets a lot of guys out.
And I don't know what the delay is. There's equipment failure there.
I think the catcher's glove busted or something like that, and they got him a spare.
So Collins is going to go get a spare glove, and we're going to resume here in just a moment. Still setting up some equipment, so bear with us as we move things around a little bit. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, foul to the backstop. So now the count's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, a very nice evening here, and it's getting nicer, believe it or not. There's a little rain prior to the game, and we're just glad to get this one in. Here comes the 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss, and that ball was high, and Champlin chased one there up out of the strike zone.
Yeah, we got to lay off those and hitting pitches that we can do stuff with. That's the ball looks like a beach ball when it's coming in at a high, but you usually can't do anything with it.
Here comes the pitch, foul to the backstop.
He did it again there. Thankfully, he got a piece of that one and fouled it back, but those we got to lay off of.
So counts 2-2. Coach Camden down there at third base and encouraging his right fielder. Here comes the pitch. Strike three, and that's going to be a strikeout for Bloomfield. So Derek Bloomfield records the strikeout there of Heath Champlin, and that's going to be the second out. And that's going to bring Matthew Foster to the plate.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he's one of our only 2 seniors. Batting in the 9 hole, he's a center fielder, got an arm like a cannon on his shoulder.
That was an off-speed pitch by Bloomfield. And, there's a nice hit above the second baseman. That's going to score a run. That went over the head of Caden Murphy. And that's going to be a single to right field. That's going to score a run. That's going to also get to second base. Matthew Foster on some heads-up running. So Foster advances on the throw home as the ball was hit over Caden Murphy's head at second base. Nice base hit.
Yes, sir. We needed that. Mr. Foster needed that in a bad way. That wasn't a rocket by any means, but he hit it hard enough just over the second baseman's head the other way, like we talked about, and got a run in, and heads-up base running got him to second base.
So the score now is 3-1 in favor of the Blue Devils, and that brings the left-handed hitting Tyler Young to the plate. That's outside ball 1. And so the Blue Devils, good heads-up base running, and we've talked about this, and we're going to repeat ourselves again, but fundamentally that was a good play there by the Blue Devils for Foster to go to second base on that throw home. So the grass was a little bit slow, and the ball kind of deadened when it hit there. There was a foul ball behind us, so that's going to make the count now 1-1. And the ball kind of deadened a little bit, and the right fielder was charging. Caden Runnels was charging.
Yeah, and the conditions out there, that rain we got did make it a little bit softer, so the ball's not going to carry as much, and that helped out. We're not going to roll as much. That helped out the white that time.
So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Blue Devils hitting in the home half of the second. Here comes Bloomfield to the pitch. That's a off-speed pitch. That's good grounded to the second baseman. That's going to be Murphy. He's going to turn over Keaton. And that's going to retire the side.
That play was a lot closer than it should have been, so that's a nice job of Mr. Young getting down the line.
So we've now played 2 complete innings here at the Bob Eastman Field, and your score after 2, Gallia. Let's talk a little bit about the catch there yesterday. You and I were talking about the catch that Ellie De La Cruz made for the Reds. Let's talk about that for a minute, which did not make ESPN's highlights, which I thought for sure this morning when I watched the top 10 plays. I was just waiting on the catch, but what a play.
Yeah, I think he was shaded a little bit towards the second base bag, but when you're 6'6" and you can jump like that and get horizontal with the ground and just the coordination that takes, this guy, I'm telling you what, he seems like he amazes you every time he goes out there somewhere.
Of course, the Reds scored 22 runs in that game.
24
to 2, actually. You're right. 24.
Used them all up yesterday. They probably get shut out for about a week. But, you get 24 runs. You take them when you can get them, and you don't tell somebody to cool off when they're hot. So you just keep hitting it and hitting it, and we'll see how it goes. But that'll bring number 5. That is, let me check the book here. That is Cade Webb in the 8th spot, leading off for Colgrove. Delaney set.
Allergies were acting up on me there. There's a pitch. That's a strike. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
So, and we were talking about that, and we were talking about my Braves. Finally got a 3-game sweep yesterday, so they're playing a little bit better. There's a pitch outside. Now 1-1. The Delaney. To the first baseman Conley, and that's going to record an out. So really update as the games go on, and I follow that too as well.
Yeah, it's pretty neat the way and it's totally free app. I mean, you can pay for a really fancy version, but even the free version is really awesome to have.
1-1 to count, 1 out. Here comes the pitch. That's low into the dirt. So that'll be ball 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike to count now as the Blue Devils lead in this one 3-1. The outfield, we talked about that, shallow. We talked about Young, Foster, Champlin, all shallow. Champlin shaded a little bit over toward left field off that right field line. Something you don't see, Chris, in baseball, especially, well, in baseball period, Colgrove has a backup third baseman that's left-handed.
Huh.
And you really don't see left-handed infielders. There's a ball that's laced to center field. And there to bring it up on one hop was Foster, the center fielder, who made a nice play, backhanded the ball, and gets the ball back to the infield, holding Bloomfield to just a single. So nice hit. It was hit well.
That's not a ball you want to leave up right there to the 3-hole hitter. When you hang him up bat letter high, usually guys are going to hit that ball really hard, and he did. Thankfully, he didn't get much air under it because it could have had some carry on it.
Here's Blake Collins stepping in. Outside ball 1. 1 runner aboard for the Hornets. Derek Bloomfield, a single to center. And that ball also, where I said there that Foster made a good play, with the wet grass, that ball can skip on you too. And there's a strike. He did not, he got there, backhanded the ball, and it didn't skip on him. That ball can skip really quick. And so the key is to get in front of the baseball. And the ball was hit so hard. Fortunately for the Blue Devils, it was hit right at Foster.
Yeah, sometimes you get that ball, like you said, when balls hit really hard too, it'll have that spin on it, have that English top spin, side spin, and sometimes it'll hit that grass when it's wet, and it'll skip to the right or left too. So really heads-up play, like you said out there by Matthew Foster.
From the stretch, here comes Delaney with the offering. The ball's hit to left, got there on 2 hops, hit the fence, and Foster chased it down and hit the cutoff man, keeping Collins to a double. No one scored, no harm done. So Blue Devils trying to get out of the inning, 1 away. There's an outside ball 1 to Delaney.
Maddox is going to have to bear down here. Can't give anything up. So really want to pitch smart here and keep the ball down. We don't want to let anything get away.
There's the ball grounded right over toward us, right in front of us. Now, I got a question for you. This is a baseball question.
Okay.
Maddox, did he get his name from Greg Maddox?
Well, yeah. Well, my wife and I named him. His name's actually Ryan Maddox Delaney.
Okay.
And so we wanted to give him something that was a little more unknown at the time, but there's quite a few Maddoxes that I know now around. Around here that are his age. But there's a ground ball to third.
Nice
play. Go ahead.
He's got him in a rundown, and he's going to chase him back, and there it is, and he's tagged out there by Beckett Camden, and they're going to get a double play.
They got him out of second. That's right.
Good play.
Collins was leaning off the bag. He was watching, and he got stuck off second base. And a really heads-up play there by Beckett Camden to throw it into Nathan Shockey. Get a nice double play and really bailed out Mr. Maddox Delaney there. So
the Blue Devils get out of the inning on a very good heads-up play by both. The Blue Devils had a heads-up play because they were in a rundown, and the Blue Devils got to Drummond. The ball was hit very hard right at Drummond. He went home and had a good back up there by Camden. He came over, did what he was supposed to do. He backed up Drummond behind third base, and then very, very alertly, and Shockey was doing a good job covering the base, very alertly, he threw to second base, and the Blue Devils end the Squelcher Colgrove rally there on a very, very good heads-up play. So we played now 2 innings and a half here at the Bob Eastman Field, and your score, Gallia Academy 3 and the Colgrove Hornets 1.
yeah, that's a really good play there. I don't know how many times we've gotten into a situation like that, and we've been on the other end of it. So it's really good to get those kind of plays. Those are the kind of things that you talk about turning things around for.
And he pitched back in the days when they had a rotation. There was a foul ball popped up. It's going to get out of the pitcher Derek Bloomfield makes a play in front of the Colgrove dugout. So nice play there by Bloomfield holding that in. And we almost had collision there as Camden was running down the line. And, of course, Bloomfield was watching where the foul ball was, and so luckily no one was injured and we were good. That brings us to play Logan Drummond. Anyway, that great lineup, or that great trio, there's a ball that's laced to short center.
Nope.
Nice.
Nope, he dropped that ball. He dropped it.
Leland McKnight was chasing it. He slid, and the umpires both made the call. So good call there by the good heads-up call there by the umpire. So that'll be a base hit for Drummond. Just go back and just complete that story. The great staff there of Maddox, Greg Maddox, and they had Glavin and Avery and John Schmaltz. And they had that one year when they won the World Series, they had quite the combination with Maddox and Glavin and Schmaltz. The ball fouled to the back screen, accidentally fouled to the back screen. This is going to be Maddox Delaney, speaking of Maddox. What? I like that name, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, we chose it, my wife and I. It was kind of, like I said, wasn't a name you hear all the time, and it's a strong name. And we also named him Ryan, so if he didn't want a strong, weird name, he could just go with Ryan. So he had his choice, and right now we call him Mad Dog, Mr. Man.
Here comes a pitch, foul to the screen, 0-2 now the count. One out for the Blue Devils. They're hitting in their half of the third. They lead in this one 3-1. And Beckett Camden, right side. Here comes the pitch. Thought about it, held off. Ball one. Derek Bloomfield in his third inning for the Hornets. It's a beautiful setting here at Gallia Academy. Most of you that are watching are familiar with the setting here, but they did a great job. There's a ball that's fouled back over the screen. The catcher, he's going to take it. Blake Collins makes the catch, so that's going to retire the Blue Devils. So Gallia Academy retired, and that's going to do it for the Blue Devils in their half of the third. So we've played now 3 complete innings, and your score, Gallia Academy 3, Cold Grove 1. More baseball when we return.
Staying here? Are we staying with the broadcast? Well, I guess we're going to stick with it, Bob. But yeah, this place is a really nice place to play. It's obviously it's a pretty rural setting. You look out and you got the rolling hills of southeastern Ohio, and usually before the end of the game, we'll probably see about 7 or 8 deer up there on the hill. And hopefully, Mr. Wes Hauk is not dialing in his muzzle loader. Taking a few of those deer out this evening.
One time I was doing a game, and there was a flock of turkeys that came across there right beyond the center field fence. And so wildlife is here, and you've just got, it's pretty. The trees are starting to come out, and it's just a beautiful setting. And if you're a batter, it's perfect as a hitter, because you don't have anything disrupting your view there. And so the Blue Devils playing well so far, leading this one 3-1, and so we'll see what Maddox can deliver here in the fourth, as the Hornets will send to the plate the bottom part of the order: Bryson Collins, Ryland Smith, and Case Webb. 6, 7, and 8 for the Hornets.
Yeah, right now Maddox is sitting. He's thrown 44 pitches and 26 strikes. He's given up 3 hits. Giving up 1 run, and that was earned. He's got a strikeout and a walk.
In that pitch count, Chris, what are you looking at around for high school as opposed to like the next level? What kind of pitch count you looking at?
Well, usually I don't want to take anything away from how Coach Camden or Coach Harris do their job, but obviously you want to be as efficient as possible. You don't want a guy throw a ton of pitches. There's a foul ball, but ideally if a guy can give you 5 innings and he's thrown 60, 65 pitches, that's just about perfect, because you're throwing strikes, but you're not throwing too many balls. That's one thing I think people think, well, why isn't he just throwing strikes every time? And these kids want to throw a strike every single time. But as at the same time, if you throw too many strikes, guys start sitting on you, and then you start getting hit. So you got to mix up your location and your speeds and how you throw the ball. So getting right around that 60, 65, 70 number. If a guy's still dialed in, you want to leave him in. But but it's okay to make a change there too. So we'll see what Coach
Yes,
King
that's
does.
what I was referring to. I I didn't know, if at the lower level or at the high school level here, you were looking at a lower pitch count, or if you were going to let them struggle up there in the 70s. There's a ground ball to the shortstop. Camden's going to pick it up, throw it on over to Conley, and we got the first out of the inning. Good play there by Beckett Camden.
Yeah, I think Delaney maybe tweaked his knee a little bit there, trying to come off the mound there. He fractured his femur in September playing soccer, and so maybe that's more the dad than the color guy here watching him make sure he's okay. Looks like he's all right.
The first base coach wanted to make sure he was okay. Called the third base coach over, who is the head coach. Called him over. It looked to me like you could definitely tell something was off when the ball was hit. He tried to field it, and I actually thought that he maybe got hung up in the rubber, but we'll see. So hopefully everything's good. He's working from the stretch now. Behind the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's ball 2, gets to the backstop, and that's going to allow Ryland Smith to go to second base. So 2 balls and no strikes there. 1 out in the Cold Grove half of the 4th. They trail in this one 3-1. At the plate is Case Webb. Webb, the first time up, struck out. Here comes the pitch, and it's going to be outside, 3-0. So 3 balls, 1 strike, 4 consecutive balls since the out was recorded. Here comes Delaney working from the stretch. That's going to be a strike. There we go.
He needed that one.
He did.
That's how you get that snowball starts rolling downhill on him. You can't think you can get another one right here.
3 balls and 1 strike, and here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's going to be inside ball 4. So Webb is on, and that's going to bring to the plate Kane Runnels. Runnels, the first time up, was hit by a pitch. Runnels wearing number 7. 1 out. The bat almost looked like a pencil.
It is a pencil. It's a Victus. It's a pencil.
Oh, it is.
It is a pencil, yeah.
So there is a bat named a Victus.
Victus is the brand, and yeah, it's. I don't know if you can see it on the stream or not, but yes, it is. It's a big old pencil, and the end of it's red like an eraser. One of those Dixon pencils, real fancy ones.
The ball inside, so it's going to make the count, even the count now 1-1. So I wasn't losing my mind when I said it.
Not yet.
Losing my mind when I said it.
Not yet. You might be, but you still got it for now. That's a pencil.
Okay. 1 ball, 1 strike to count, and here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. That's going to be strike 2. So Delaney gets ahead in the count now. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. Blue Devils ahead in this one, 3-1. From the stretch, here he comes to the belt. Pitches inside, even the count's at 2-2. He just missed on that one. I thought maybe he might have rung him up.
I think he's probably going. I might see a curveball right here. This guy is a little unsure. Maybe not. That's why I'm not calling pitches.
He fouled up over the screen. So we got now the count is 2-2. Speaking of that, how'd you like that first pitch throw out there from Bob Hood there?
Well,
at least it didn't go in the dirt.
It was there. I mean, I saw you about took the guy's glove. That much heat, you're going to hurt somebody, Bob.
There's the ball low and out. There's the ball low and outside, ball 3. So 3 balls.
Again, where we get in a situation where we got to have a play.
Runnels, the right fielder. Here's the pitch. Oh,
There
good
it was.
pitch.
Got a pitch they needed.
Good pitch on the outside corner, and Delaney mows him down with a strikeout. So that's the second out of the inning and a much needed strikeout. And boy, you hate that if you're a Cold Grove fan. You hate that to go down looking, but fortunate for the Blue Devils as Delaney got one and got a much needed strikeout. So that's going to now make this be the second out recorded in the 4th inning. Blue Devils ahead 3-1, 2-on for the Hornets. Here comes a pitch. Outside ball 1.
Now, I'll tell you, we're not out of the woods yet. This is still a big at-bat where I think we're up here in the top of the lineup.
That's correct. Leland McKnight, who's the leadoff hitter, bats from the left side. Outside ball 2.
And this is a problem we've had not just with Maddox, but most of our staff is we start falling behind guys, we get in jams and we fall behind guys, and we're already down 2-0. So you have to come to this guy, so he's going to be sitting on fastballs.
There's a ball that's hit down the right field line. It's going to be fielded there very cleanly by Young. He's going to get it in. So base hit there for McKnight. And playing shallow, like we mentioned, was Young. So he was able to get the ball and into the infield. No harm done there. Bases are loaded now, and that's going to bring to the plate Caden Murphy.
Little second baseman. He is 0 for 1.
There's a strike on the corner. So Delaney now ahead in the count. No balls and 1 strike. 2 outs in the Cold Grove half of the 4th. The Hornets trail. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 2.
Nice pitch. Now he's way ahead here. This is where we talked about pitching smart and using your location. You don't want to give anything that he can hit here. He's nervous. He's got the bases loaded with 2 strikes. So just pitch smart here.
Here comes 2-0 pitch, and then Reese Toller does a good job blocking them.
Fantastic block there by Reese Toller. That saved a run for sure.
Toller jumped over in front of it and put his chest protector right where it needed to be. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Good waste pitch there by Delaney.
It was. You're gonna do that. You mentioned that location. Here comes the pitch low, gets behind, and that's going to score a run.
Yep, that's the kind of stuff right there. You can give them 1, but you can't give them another one because they'll.
So score the second 3.5, and your score here from Bob Eastman Field is Gallia Academy 3 and the Cold Grove Hornets 2.
I'm not sure who we've got leading off here, coming up in the bottom of the 4th here. I think, was it Shockey made the last out?
Yes.
Let's see here. So we should be with Brady Conley, Reese Toller, and Heath Champlin coming up. 6, 7, 8. Yeah, that is correct. Mr. Conley is on the on-deck circle, and he'll be leading off for us in the 4th. So far, the line on the pitcher, Bloomfield, number 50. He's a 3 innings pitch. He's got 3 hits, given up 3 runs. 1 of those is earned. He's got 3 strikeouts, and he's walked a couple guys. So really, he hasn't thrown that bad himself. Really pretty decent outing for both guys so far. He's sitting at, let's see how many pitches, 47 pitches with 31 strikes. So that percentage is a little bit better than where Maddox was sitting. And that'll bring number 12, Brady Conley, to the box. The junior first baseman. He's one of those guys. He plays first base. He'll share that role with Logan Drummond every now and then on occasion, and every now and then you see Logan Kinney over there at first base too. First pitch to Conley is in the air down behind first base, and foul ball.
Thank you very much there, Chris Delaney. And so that's going to be, and this is going to be Brady Conley. Conley plays first base for the Blue Devils. Beautiful evening for baseball. It's actually gotten a lot better since the game started. This is a perfect night.
Out, little breeze blowing, it's nice.
Yeah, this is a perfect night. I'm really glad I didn't dress any warmer. It's very comfortable out here. Here comes the pitch from Derek Bloomfield. That's a swing and a miss. So 1 ball, 2 strikes now the count. Bloomfield in his 4th inning of work as the Blue Devils are hitting in their home half of the 4th. They lead in this one 3-2. Here comes the offering. It's high inside. It's going to even the count now 2-2.
Conley 0 for 1 so far today. Strikeout in his last appearance.
Here comes the pitch. Ball's laced.
Not the most fleet of foot. He lost 10 pounds over this past week during spring break, but I don't think it was enough to unhitch the trailer to get another base hit or get another base there. But Yeah, really nice backside line drive there by number 12.
And again, the ball died in that little higher grass and a little bit because of the wet conditions. But he hit the ball solid.
Yes, sir.
Good hit by Brady Conley. He's going to be aboard, and that's going to bring Reese Toller to the plate.
Walked in his first at-bat.
And scored a run. So Reese Toller takes outside ball 1. Coach Harris down at first base. Coach Camden coaching over here at third. Here working from the stretch is Bloomfield.
It's going to be a nice curveball there breaking down in by Bloomfield.
Outs, the Blue Devils hitting in their half of the fourth with Brady Conley on board after a single. There's a pitch high and away, ball 2.
A little out. That was pretty close. That's a nice pitch too.
Bloomfield working from the stretch, keeping his eye over there on Conley. He's not going anywhere. Conley taking a nice lead. Oh, foul ball. Point. It looked like it might have hit him on the hand.
I actually think it was coming at his face, and he kind of panicked a little bit, but as most would do. So.
And that's what he most. There's a strike, so that's going to be a strikeout. And Reese Toller strikes out.
I don't think he was ready for that curveball. That'll bring up number 41, Heath Champlin. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout.
And Champlin steps in, bats from the right side. Blue Devils have a runner on first base. Here comes the pitch. Champlin takes strike 1. And you were exactly right. Reese Toller did look down here at Coach Camden saying, coming for the face. So you called that one correct from even down here. There's a ball that's inadvertently hit foul accidentally over into the Cold Grove dugout. Champlin trying to shield himself from a high inside pitch. He got the bat in the way and kind of fouled it over.
One of those lookout hacks.
Here comes a pitch outside. That's going to be 1 ball now and 2 strikes. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count to Heath Champlin. From the stretch, here comes the pitch. An off-speed pitch bounced to shortstop. And fumbling the ball there was Bryson Collins. And that's going to be an error on the shortstop, and that's going to allow Champlin to reach first base. So
that was one of those what you call a tailor-made double play. That should have been a 6-4-3 and get him out of the inning. But luckily for our sake, he bobbled that and couldn't get a play on anybody. And that'll bring up Matthew Foster. He's 1 for 1, had that nice backside base hit earlier.
So Conley goes over to second base, and Champlin aboard now. Conley. As Chris mentioned, Matthew Foster stepping in. That's an off-speed pitch inside on the corner. Ball, strike 1. No balls, 2 strikes, the count to the Blue Devils center fielder, Matthew Foster.
We'd like to see him get into another one, do some damage here.
It is 0-1. Sorry, the board was wrong. There's an accidental tap, and it's going to go to second base. And, they're going to get a close play over there as Foster was running it out hard, but it's going to be recorded as an out as Caden Murphy was there and picked up the ball and threw it on over to Carter Keaton. So 4-3 for scoring with us. Second out of the inning, top of the order, Tyler Young. One kind of thing that's kind of you don't see a lot is both the leadoff hitters for the Blue Devils and for the Cold Grove are left-handed. So you don't see both left-handers in the leadoff spot. There's strike 1 is Young, swing and misses. And really, you've got about a step, maybe a step and a half advantage if you're left-handed.
Yeah, it makes it a whole lot easier to get out of the box. It puts a lot more pressure on the defense. When you hit those slow rollers, they start to stress a little bit more because they got less time to get the ball over to first. So there's definitely a benefit being out of that left-handed box.
We had a situation there one time at Cedarville where the leadoff hitter in women's softball was left-handed, and I always had her bunt most of the time just to get that lead first base. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count now on Young. You got about a step, and sometimes, as we've seen tonight, that step can make a little difference. As Matthew Foster was running hard down the line, and that one more step, that would have been a bang play over there at first base. Young stepping in, 1 ball, 2 strikes to count, 2 outs. Blue Devils hitting in their half of the 4th. There's a swing and a miss, and so Young is going down out on strikeouts. So that's going to end it for the Blue Devils in their half of the 4th. For the Blue Devils, no runs on a hit. There were 2 runners left on base, and now we've played 4 complete as your score is Gallia Academy 3, Cold Grove Hornets 2.
Looking for your next vehicle? Time to bring in Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your trusted dealership in Gallipolis, Ohio. Whether you're cruising the highways or tackling tough terrain, Braden has the perfect Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram for you. Visit us at 252 Upper River Road, Gallipolis, Ohio, or call 740-853-5668. Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, driving Gallipolis forward.
Crank it up with the Pure Rock Radio Network, your home for classic rock that really rocks. Tune in to Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5 for the greatest hits, local sports action, and your favorite morning crew, Porter's Place, featuring Rodney Porterhouse Tomlin, comedian Jay Snide, and the HR chick, Tanya Hatton. From Bobcats football and basketball to unbeatable giveaways, we've got your back. Pure Rock Radio Network, where local voices meet legendary rock. Pure Rock 105 and Pure Rock 99.5. Turn it up. You're watching Gallia Academy Sports, presented by Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Gallipolis.
Back to the Bob Eastman Field. We're ready for the top of the 5th inning. Derek Bloomfield, Blake Collins, and Carter Keaton will come to the plate for the Hornets, who trail in this one 3-2, as Maddox Delaney is now in his 5th inning of work.
Yeah, we talked about how far you want to send the guy. He's finished 4 complete innings, and he's thrown 68 pitches and 38 balls. So just a few more strikes than balls. So that's where we start seeing where guys' arms start to wear out a little bit. So we'll see how it goes so far.
There's a pitch delivered to Derek Bloomfield, the opposing pitcher. It's down and away, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count. To the pitcher, Derek Bloomfield, who has also gone 5 innings with a ball bounced foul, who's also will be in his 4th inning when the Hornets take the field. So 4 innings of complete work for Bloomfield. Steps out of the box, takes a couple practice swings, now steps back in, getting the signals down from third base head coach. Here comes the pitch. Ball came around on the ball pretty good there, Chris.
Yeah, it's one of those things where as a pitcher you want to see, okay, well, he's early on my fastball here, and I've got 2 strikes on him. Might want to throw a changeup here, maybe something off speed, see if we can get him to go fishing.
1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Here comes the 1-2 offering, and that's going to get to the back screen outside.
He was thinking the same thing, but he threw it about 1.5 foot outside, Bob. So that's not going to work.
So now the count is even at 2-2. No one out here in the Cold Grove half of the 5th as Bloomfield led it off. He'll be followed by Collins and Carter Keaton. Comes the pitch, swing and a miss.
Nice pitch.
And that's a fastball right down the center of the plate. So strikeout there for Delaney. And that's going to be the first out of the recorded 5th inning. And that's going to bring Blake Collins to the plate. Collins reached on an error in the 1st and had a single to center field in the 3rd.
I'm pretty sure that was a double. That was a ball to the fence, Bob.
That's correct.
That play there, Bob.
Well, that's great. So we've now played 4.5 innings here from the Bob, and your score remains Gallia Academy 3, Cold Grove Hornets 2. More high school action when we return as you're listening to Blue Devil Sports on Total Media.
Looking for your next vehicle? Time to bring in Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, your trusted dealership in Gallipolis, Ohio. Whether you're cruising the highways or tackling tough terrain, Braden has the perfect Chrysler Dodge Jeep or Ram for you. Visit us at 252 Upper River Road, Gallipolis, Ohio, or call 740-853-5668. Braden Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, driving Gallipolis forward.
had a couple opportunities, but we haven't really been able to get a whole lot out of it. So, we're just sitting waiting to get something going. Let's see here. Bloomfield is sitting at, let's see how many pitches. He's at 66 pitches. So he might be starting to get up there too. His arm might be getting a little tired. To maybe see a little more patience in the box and see if we get some base runners going. But it's time. We really need a lot more than we've got. And so I touched on not very comfortable just having a one-run lead right now.
Really, especially high school baseball, but really in any baseball game, a one-run lead is not safe at all, and things can happen, things can fall apart, and we've talked about that. That's outside ball one, so 1-0 the count, and we've also talked about how the Blue Devils need to string a few together with a couple of hits and a run, and they did that earlier, and then in the first inning they scored 2 runs. 2 in the first and 1 in the second for the Blue Devils. There's a ball laced to left field. That's going to be over the head of Smith. And he's got some speed. He's turning it on. Camden's got second. He's coming to third. Here he comes. Here's the play, and it's offline. And you called it before it even happened. Nice call, as that's a triple there for Beckett Camden, as the ball was well hit, got all the way to the fence. And Ryland Smith chased the ball down, but not that too much speed there as Camden was turning it on, and he was turning it on coming around second base.
Yes, sir. I was afraid, like you talked about a few times, that the grass was going to kill it, and it did. And if it wasn't for that, it'd have been a stand-up triple easy. So we're cooking right now. Leadoff runner on third base with 3, 4, 5 coming up. Let's get something done here.
So here is Logan Drummond, Jr. He hits the ball to the shortstop, and that's going to get a run in. It's going to be an RBI, and he's going to beat it out. And the error on the throw goes into the Cold Grove dugout. So that's going to be an automatic advancement. Yeah, here we go. So that's what we've been needing, is we got an error there on the shortstop, Bryson Collins, who threw the ball errantly into the Cold Grove dugout. Automatic advancement there. And so the Blue Devils have already scored 1, now ahead 4-2. So, and it's kind of funny that we mentioned that, putting a string of a few things together, and that's going to bring up the number 4 hitter, and that's going to be Maddox Delaney. A chance to help himself. Ball gets to the screen. That's going to run Drummond over to third base. So he has a chance to really, really help himself to add another run here, and that would be make it 5-2 if he can get this runner in.
He had an RBI earlier in the first inning, but it was a fielder's choice, so I'm sure he'd like to get a base hit on his tally and get an RBI as well.
So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and that ball's bounced over here next to us, just beyond or just right out the Gallia Academy dugout, chased down by Coach Camden. Now the count's going to be 1-1. Nobody out yet. The Blue Devils hitting in their half of the 5th, 1 in so far and 1 on. Here comes Drummond. Ball's 1-1 to the belt. Ball is fouled behind the Blue Devil dugout.
Well, he's in a hole here again. He's down 1-2. He's been here 3 times, and he's yet to figure out how to get into Bloomfield and find his way on base.
Here comes the 1-2 offering, and that ball's fouled back into the, I was going to say close to the dugout, but it didn't get that far.
There, he's lucky they didn't get to that one.
You were talking about that backspin on the ball. That's when that ball died. It just kind of spun backwards there, and dead right between the first base foul line and the dugout. So 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. No one out. Blue Devils hitting in their half of the 5th. They head in this one 4-2. Blue Devils desperately needing a win, and a nice one here. This would be great for the Blue Devils. Ball gets to the screen, and that's going to score a run. So Drummond is going to score on a pass ball, so that's going to now make it 5-2, as both Beckett and Drummond have scored. Now Delaney at the plate to count even, 2-2.
You know, sometimes, Bob, when you get a play like that and it clears the bases off, that kills a little bit of momentum. You know, you get base hit, and guys keep scoring, but now the base hit just gets them started over again.
Bloomfield from the, nice ball, laced into left field. Nice hit there by Delaney, and Maddox is aboard on a hard hit ball that was right into left field, and you alluded to this, and I'm sure that after that amount of pitches and 4 strong innings, by Bloomfield. He has to start kind of feeling it with around 68 pitches.
He's at 66 right now.
I was right on it,
Yes,
68.
sir.
I was here. We're gonna have a pinch runner over there at first base.
That's going to be Colton Reed, another sophomore out here. He's pretty fast. He's out there, might be pitching. Maddox is still pitching, maybe just a courtesy runner there. And plus, it helps to have a set of lightning out there, lightning bolt at first base. So
I forgot about that courtesy runner there. It happens in high school baseball. You can your pitcher, or well, your player can stay in the game, and you just have what's called
typically it's your pitcher or your catcher.
Yep.
And a lot of times you'll see it if there's 2 outs, especially for a catcher. Just to keep the pace of the game going, because the catcher have to come and get his shin guards back on, and it keeps the game flowing along nicely.
The count there's no count yet, as Bloomfield has actually stepped off the back of the rubber and had his glove off. He now puts his glove back on his hand, now back up on the rubber, and standing in will be Shockey. Shockey tonight is 0 for 2. Fouled out the last time up there, strike 1. As that runner over there, did you say Reed?
That's Colton Reed.
Colton
sophomore,
Reed.
number 24.
It's Colton Reed aboard as the courtesy runner, getting a nice lead. There's a ball. It's
Pop up. That should be caught there, and it is by the third baseman. number
So
2.
that's the second time that Shockey has flied out in this game, and both times to the infield. And that's going to bring to the plate now Brady Conley. That's the first out of the Blue Devils' 5th. And Delaney still, Reed is on for Delaney.
Takes
There he
off.
goes. And he's going to be staying in easily. I started to say standing, but he did slide. So in easily at second base, and you mentioned that speed. And the Blue Devils wanting to get out of any double play opportunities. So the now runner is Reed is in scoring position, taking a large lead. And also if there should be a pass ball, he can easily get to third base. So good heads up running there. There's a ball that's fouled back to the screen.
I don't think he hit it. Didn't look like a foul ball.
Well, they're saying he did. They're asking the base umpire. The coach from Colgrove has come out, and he's saying foul ball, and I believe they're going to score.
Yeah.
Nobody called timeout, and now
They didn't ask me, Bob, but I don't think that was a foul ball.
they're arguing that it was. Now, did he call timeout? Did the base umpire?
There was no time.
I didn't think so.
Well, what it looks like to me is the Colgrove coach came out of the dugout and was arguing that Brady fouled the ball off. Well, in the meantime, the home plate umpire is watching the game unfold, which if you're on top of your game like Coach Camden is, you see that he's saying, hey, listen, this is a live ball, and Colton Reed comes from second to third, and then Corey says go ahead and score. And so that's how
So he
got
did.
that one.
So he did, and a very heads-up play there as Colton Reed is going to score, and that's going to be the 6th run of the game for the Blue Devils, the 5th or 6th.
That's 6.
That's what I thought. That's what I have down. So, yeah, that's right. 6 runs now, and he's still talking. The coach is still out on the field talking to the home plate umpire now. He asked the base umpire for a ruling, and he did not get that ruling. But like you said, no time was called, and he just came home. So good heads up.
Got to appreciate the effort there by the Colgrove's coach, but I think that was about a foot away from Brady's bat.
See, I thought in here again, I thought I heard it, but there again,
it hit the catcher's glove.
you're probably right. There's a ball hit foul. So now the count's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Yeah, you're probably right. It did. That's probably what I did hear. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Blue Devils hitting in their half of the 5th as Derek Bloomfield on in the 5th for his 5th inning of work. Here comes the pitch. He rears back and lets the heat fly. It's a high and away. Ball 3. So 3-1 the count now. As the Blue Devils' Brady Conley is hitting. Conley tonight struck out in the first and hit the ball hard on a single got a single in the second time bat. That was in the 4th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count to the Blue Devils' first bagger. Here comes the pitch. Ball's grounded to short. Kind of fumbling it there and a bad throw, and that's going to put Kurt Conley on base.
Yeah, that's a nice way. That's what we talk about. What we've always told these guys is you put the ball in play and you make them get you out. And that was just a tailor-made, just a 99 hopper to the shortstop, and he bobbled it. And Brady Conley had the motor and beat that ball out. So that'll bring up number 37, Logan Kinney. Looks like he's going to pitch hit for maybe Reese Toller here. And also Luke Sisson, number 5, the junior, probably going to come and run for Brady Conley. Yes, that's what it looks like.
So Sisson comes into first base. And
Wind's starting to pick up a little bit here.
Blue Devils just wanting to add to the score here as they're up 6-2. And the Blue Devils hoping to get a league win, and now the coach has come out. I think we might have a pitching change.
Yep.
So we're going to have a pitching change, and calling in, looks like one of the outfielders. Nope. Oh, they're going to changing gloves.
I think we're making some shuffling some guys around here, making some moves. Looks like the right fielder, number 2. Who is that?
That's Kane Runnels.
Runnels will go, that's 11. I thought that was 2. I'm not very good with math. That's an 11. That's close to 2.
Well, it's a 2
it's
if
1
you're
plus 1.
Well, and if you're doing it as numerals,
Yeah.
it is 1 and 1. So that's good.
Yeah, he's coming in. Looks like Bloomfield's going to go to short or third base. He's here in the infield, and they're sending the third baseman. Looks like he's going out to center field. No, his number. We'll get some.
So we had their lineup card here prior to the game, and I'll
check here.
Might have blown away.
Number 2 was Webb, the third baseman. He's moving to center field. Number 11. What number is that one? I don't see a number 11. That must be a substitution that I'm not getting. But he's coming in to pitch. And looks like the final line on Broomfield is going to be 4.1 inning, 4 1/3 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts, and 2 walks. And he is also responsible for the runner on first base.
So we'll try to get that name of the pitcher there and see if we can get that while he's warming up. I thought I had that roster, but I'll see here. And, oh, I know. I think I have it on my phone. And so when they came, they were, they had all the lineup was just last names.
Mm-hmm.
And so looks like it's going to be.
Little left-hander here.
And again, they don't put numbers. So
it's either McKenzie or Taylor McKenzie, something like that. We'll get it figured out. It should be in the book here in just a second. But the he came from right field, and that was Runnels in right field.
That's correct.
Originally.
That's correct.
But here in just a second, when he starts throwing pitches, we'll be able to score it and give you a definitive answer on who this young man is.
Game Changer app working well.
Yes, sir.
For us.
Yeah, so far, good inning for Gallia Academy. We've got 3 in with 1 out. Like I said, Luke Sisson now running for Brady Conley. This is the opportunity that we need to take advantage of. Go ahead and get a few more here and really separate ourselves and get some breathing room.
And you mentioned it, Sisson is the responsibility of Derek Bloomfield, the pitcher. So he's still pinned in for 1 more. And the Blue Devils are sending a pinch hitter to the bat for
37, Logan Kinney, another sophomore.
Logan Kinney will bat for Reese Toller. That ball, did it hit him?
I think
it did.
It hit him in the foot.
So Kinney will go to first base. And so he's on with a hit batsman, and that will move the runner, Conley's runner, over to second base.
Sisson to second, and Logan Kinney on first, and Heath Champlin coming up.
Champlin is reached one time on an error.
Well, and the only name I've got for this pitcher right here for Colgrove in Game Changer is number 11. So that must be his name. He's just number 11.
Number 11.
He's like Prince, the artist formerly known as Prince. Well, this is just number 11 out here. So good luck to you, buddy. But if we get your name, we'll get it out here for you.
We'll try to get that for you. So here is Champlin stepping in.
That ball drops. Catcher sitting on it. Throw to third. Not in time. Sisson's there. Kinney over to second.
And Bloomfield did a good job down there at third, making sure that ball didn't get into left field, as that would have been disastrous, as Sisson would have easily scored. As he gets over to third base and going back to second was a pinch hitter. So now we got Sisson at third, and we've got one out. So a chance to get two more here. Champlin inside. That's going to run the count to 2-0. And you and I talked about this multiple times throughout the evening. The big inning, usually this year historically for Gallia Academy, we've been on the other end. So we're on the good side of a big inning here for the Blue Devils. And as you said it's stringing together one after another and being able to string a big inning together. There's a strike.
Now I'm guessing on that one right there, Coach Scanman had a take sign on because that was just spinning right down in, and he probably would have jumped all over that one. Probably just sitting to get this guy throwing the strike. 2
balls, 1 strike to count, no one out. Blue Devils hitting in their half of the 5th. And that ball's down and away. So that's going to run the count now to 3-0, 3-1. 3 balls and 1 strike. Blue Devils led off. Beckett Camden led off, and they're about to get to that top of that order again. One more hitter, they'll be back to the top of the order. Here comes the offering, and that's going to be inside, and Champlin's going to draw a base on balls. So Heath Champlin draws a base on balls. He's going to be at first. Now the bases are going to be loaded.
That'll bring up the senior Matthew Foster. Had an RBI base hit earlier and almost beat that ground ball out last time. So this is a spot where you love having these seniors come up because they can rely on their experience to get the job done. So hopefully we got back-to-back seniors here and we can get a few more runs.
I'm working from the stretch. Gets away from the catcher, Collins, but not far enough for any advancement.
No, I don't think Coach Camden is going to be very aggressive here. Got a guy struggling to throw a lot of strikes. So you don't want to take a chance on a ball that doesn't get far away and then get thrown out, picked off at home. So we'll let Mr. Foster drive in a few here.
Here comes the 1 ball, 2 strike count, working from the belt. From the stretch, that's low and inside ball too. So, and he was taken all the way, like you said. Foster had the take sign on because he was not even swinging, no matter. That was low and inside. So, Colgrove is behind on the count, 2 balls and no strikes from the stretch. Here comes the 2-0 pitch, and that hit him.
Got him.
So that's going to be another run for the Blue Devils.
An RBI there for Mr. Foster. And, you always want to get up there and hit a ball in the gap, but, at the end of the day, you get hit with the bases loaded, that's an RBI, and you're sitting on base. So there's nothing to be upset about that.
And the good thing for the Blue Devils, they still have the bases loaded. So now the score is 7-2, and that's going to bring the count to that plate, Tyler Young. Young tonight reached in the first and then grounded out in the second and struck out in the 4th. So his 3rd time to the plate. There's a pitch, an off-speed pitch that missed. 1 ball, no strikes.
This guy on the mound, number 11 here, not throwing very hard. So this is where you want to see guys adjust. You see them swing out of their shoes a lot here, and this is you'd like to see him make some adjustments and work on hitting the ball hard somewhere.
The Blue Devils have blown this game wide open here in the 5th as they now, with Beckett Camden on deck, have batted around, and they're still hitting, and they've still got a lot going on. 1 out. And the power part of the lineup is to follow from the stretch. Here comes the pitch, and that's going to go to the backstop. But nobody's going to score. Nobody's coming. As you mentioned, playing it safe.
Yeah, playing it safe. I think that might have been a little more Mr. Kinney not trusting his athletic abilities. Not quite the most footed base runner, so maybe he didn't want to make it out there, and that's okay. We'll let Mr. Young hit him in.
Yep, he has that ability, and if he could get around on one right here, although I doubt if he's going to be swinging on at 3-0. Here comes a 3-0 pitch, and it's ball 4. So that's going to walk a run in, and that's going to be the the fifth run of the inning for the Blue Devils, and that's going to now make your score 8-2.
Looks like we're going to see a pitching change here too. Number 11, we never did find out his name. He didn't actually throw an inning. He didn't record an out, but he gave up 1 run. It was earned, and he walked 2. That will bring number. He was playing first base, 13, Keaton?
Yes, that is Carter Keaton.
Yeah,
we do know who that is. So the continuation of the 5th inning for the Blue Devils, as now that's going to be Beckett Camden, who was the leadoff hitter in the beginning of the 5th, and he laced the ball down the left field line. He got all the way to the fence, and he was able to get around to third base and record a triple on that play. And so, again, Keaton not really showing much as far as speed. He's thrown a couple off-speed pitches in his warm-ups. Not a lot of heat, so the Blue Devils need to adjust there.
You know, Bob, you don't want to jinx it or speak too soon about things, but right now we got 1 out, and we're up 8-2. If with Beckett Camden coming up to plate right now, he would be the walk-off run if Gallia were to be able to string another couple hits together. So, you know, you don't want to jinx it or talk too early, but you know, everybody in that dugout and all these guys in blue and white, that's what they're talking about right now. Hey, let's get 4 more and get out of here. Even if it is the 6th, it just shuts it down an inning early. We've got 4 or 5 games this week that would really be good to get going and get a run rule. We've got Warren coming to town tomorrow. We went up there earlier this season, and we blew one of those leads we were talking about earlier. They had a 2 or 3 run lead at Warren, I think, going into the 7th, and then they ended up getting beat. They got walked off up there at Warren, so still got a bad taste in their mouth from that one. So getting one here tonight and then having them come down and get another one and get rolling, even though Warren is not a league game, that's still a game they'd like to get a little revenge on.
And for you who are watching tonight, just a reminder that game's going to start at 5 o'clock, 1/2 hour earlier than the normal games. So tomorrow we'll be doing that game right here from the Bob Eastman Field, and that game will start at 5. And you know, another thing too is that if we should get out with a walk-off win here, that would preserve your pitching because we wouldn't have to pitch another.
Yeah, it's just one less inning that you have to use your arms for.
And when you're going 3 and 4 games a week, that's very crucial.
Mm-hmm.
The infield is in for the Hornets, at least at 3rd and 1st.
So that's a situation where you're seeing here. If you're not familiar, you'll have if your bases are loaded, you're trying to get guys out and not give up runs. You've got your corners in, your first and third baseman come in. So if they get hard ground balls hit at them, they can go 4-1. So they'd be throw it home, get the out there, and then try and throw it to first to get the double play. And these guys in the middle, that ball is stung by Beckett Camden.
Way back, going back over the head of Ryland Smith. Now we're talking big, and the Blue Devils are going to be faced with a long single there by Beckett Camden.
That's a tough ball. It looked like the left fielder had a bead on it, and so our runners had to hold, but that ball was absolutely stung by Beckett Camden. It got a couple runs in, so scored Kenny and Heath Champlin, I believe. So now we're sitting at 10-2 with Logan Drummond coming into the box.
So Beckett Camden gets the job done and he scored twice. He scored 2 runs tonight, and he got the job done there. He hit the ball well over Ryland Smith's head in left field. there's a pass ball or a ball that was in the dirt. It's going to allow the runner to move over to Young to move over to the third base. So we have him now at second and third. And again, this is the run numbers 11 and 12. So these are the 2 runs that we have to get home in order to end this game. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss.
That's a healthy cut right there.
Yeah,
by
he was
Logan
trying.
Drummond.
He was trying to end it. You
Yes,
you are
sir.
exactly right, Chris. As he took a swing for the fences. Now the outfielders have backed up a little bit, and that's a smart play. The infield has backed up, regular depth and beyond. They're a little deeper down at third and short. Here comes the pitch. Ball's lifted.
That might be trouble.
Ball's lifted
Second
into
baseman
short
time.
right field, and tagging and scoring on the play will be Drummond, or Young rather. Camden will move over to third. So Young scores. That's the 11th run, and
That'll bring up Maddox Delaney with a chance to get the run in here with 2 outs. Base hit will walk it off here, so that's always fun here. So hopefully he can get the job done. I'll take him to McDonald's after the game maybe.
And that's the 7th run of the inning for the Blue Devils. Maybe if he's listening or watching, he'll hear that. There's a ball
And
laced to
that
left
is a
left field, and that's going to
fair ball,
and
and
that's
that'll
going to
do it.
score.
That ball,
That's going to score the run,
he's going
and
to keep running. He's going to keep running around here. Patty stats here, see what he can get. But
that's going to be a double, and that's going to end the ball game. Your score here from Bob Eastman Field is the Blue Devils come away with a big win tonight, 12-2 over the Cold Grove Hornets. Talking just a little bit about the game before we wrap up, Chris. Thank you very much for your help tonight. But a good performance on the mound,
Yeah.
and some good, like you said, and you said it. We strung together a nice, good inning, and that inning, of course, was the 5th that lasted for a while and was able to score 8 runs.
Yeah, it's tough to lose games when you get 9-run innings, Bob. But
Yes.
Overall, we did hit the ball really well. Had 9 hits. We did have 2 errors. But, overall, we played really well. Got a pretty good performance from Maddox there. He threw 77 pitches and 44 strikes. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, 2 runs. Both of them were earned. He struck out 4, and he walked 2. And then, like I said, there had that last base hit to finish the walk-off. So pretty good game for him. Overall, everyone played really well. I think we had 9 hits, like I said. So we hit the ball well. We played defense. We threw strikes, and that's how you get the job done.
And it's little things. We had some good base running tonight. We had some heads-up plays, some fundamental things happened that were good. So, again, this evening here at the Bob, your final score is Gallia Academy comes away winning this one 12-2. Chris Delaney, it's a pleasure doing the game with you. I
Yes,
look forward
a lot of
tomorrow
fun.
night. And we had a good time, and Matt Champlin was right. You did add a lot of color to the game.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it.
I'll have to tell the sheriff you did a good job.
That's very kind of him. That's a good way to get the week going. We've got a few more games, and hopefully we can get rolling in the right direction.
So for Chris Delaney, this is Bob Hood saying good night, everyone, from the Bob Eastman Field. Your final, once again, Gallia Academy 12, the Cold Grove Hornets 2. Good night, everyone. Stay safe and be safe.